Everybody, welcome to CGTN social media platforms. I'm Silkina Ahluwalia, CGTN's Indonesia correspondent. Today I am in Manado, a city in North Sulawesi, and I'm standing in one of the city's oldest temples. It's around 400 years old, so that's a very long time. So I'm just gonna walk around here. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the history of this temple, and also what are they doing to prepare for the Chinese New Year. So it's very exciting. We're in the year of the rat, and you can see the decorations right there everywhere. And you can hear the music is already blasting because Chinese New Year is just one day away. It's tomorrow. So happy Chinese New Year to those that are celebrating. And also I want to remind you guys that I am on Facebook. So if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, or if you just want to say hi, leave them in the comments below and I'll definitely read them. Okay, so this temple is called Hin Kiong, and it was built in 1819, so it's been around for about 400 years, since the 18th century. It's not a big temple, it's quite small, and it's been through a lot. So since it was established in 1819, it has actually been burnt down twice, and we're gonna go inside to take you around here. And it has gone through several renovations. It was actually destroyed twice. So first in 1944, and the second one was in 1970 when it was burned down. It's really hot. There are a lot of people that are preparing themselves for the Chinese New Year already. There's a lot of rituals and celebrations happening today. So back then, this temple started as a very simple structure. It was just made out of wood and bamboo. But of course, as you can see now, it takes on a more modern look. It's a little bit more sturdy, but it still stays true to its ancient Chinese look. You know, there are vintage ornaments here, vintage decorations. We're gonna open our shoes to make sure that we don't get placed dirty. So let me know if any of you are celebrating Chinese New Year in the comments on Facebook, because I am reading them and I'm reading some of your comments here. So as the Chinese community grew here in Manado, people began to realize that this temple is actually special, and you know, they began to take care of it to make sure that it still stands, and they keep rebuilding it even until now. Unfortunately, a lot of what you see here today is not the same as what it was back in the day, because as I mentioned, this temple did burn down years ago, so they didn't manage to restore the relics or documents, but the rebuilding process allowed them to still maintain the ancient feel of the temple, as you can see now. And you can see that these are some of the offerings for Chinese New Year. They're actually beginning their celebration. It has already begun. It began this morning, and it's going to go on throughout the night. And of course, tomorrow is Chinese New Year. So Indonesia has a lot of Chinese temples, and really each city has its own unique temple. You know, this is one in Manado, but we have done stories of one in Lasem, in Java, in Solo as well, in central Java. So even Jakarta has a few old temples, and it shows that Chinese migration in Indonesia was definitely prominent between the 18th to the 19th century, and that the Chinese community blossomed in a huge way in the country around that time. Now, this particular temple is important because it has become somewhat of an icon of history in Manado. It is known as a Tree Dharma temple, which means that it is used as a place of worship for Confucius, Taoists, and Buddhists. I spoke to the temple owner earlier, And, you know, he said what makes him so proud is how this temple has become a symbol of tolerance for the people in Manado. You know, he said all places of worship, such as this temple and church and mosques, must become a platform to unite people. So you can see that this is where the prayer is going to happen. Hello. Jimmy is one of the head of the temple, you can say. Okay, so we're just going to show you a little bit of here, and then we'll go back out there and show you a little bit of the ornaments, the ancient ornaments of the temple. Yeah. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Ini bagian rumah tangga, Bu, kepala rumah tangga.
Okay,
yang
hello.
harus digelendeng.
Yeah, so everyone is preparing for the Chinese New Year rituals today. Yes? Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for allowing us in here. We're gonna continue showing.
Okay. Good time.
Thank you so much. So in the past few years as well, a lot of tourists from China has been coming to this temple, and usually, you know, around 60, 70 people come here every single day. And it really is in their list of must-see places. You know, this is a busy time, of course, for tourists, as you can imagine, during the Chinese New Year. The celebrations have already begun today. You know, a lot of the people here, they will start coming in. They will have a mass prayer this morning. Throughout the day, they will keep having rituals and ceremonies, and one of them is a parade as well. So really outside, the entire street will be closed for those that are celebrating. But of course, the main event itself will be tomorrow during the Chinese New Year. A lot of people will gather here, pray, take part in rituals that will allow them, prepare them to have a great year ahead. And just to give you an idea of how crowded it's going to be around this area, this is not the only temple here. So just across the street, there's actually another temple as well. So both of them will be completely crowded and packed during the Chinese New Year. And I think the celebration will be something that you do not want to miss. And of course, you know, the celebrations will not end tomorrow, even though it's the Chinese New Year. It usually stretches up until for Chap Gome. So Manado will be very lively and vibrant for the next week or so, which is very exciting. But we also know that celebrations will be happening in neighboring cities as well, such as Bitung and Minahasa. Place to be during this time. It's really great to see the local people combine their own culture with the Chinese cultures, and this has existed for centuries. You know, this temple is proof of that, that the local people and the Chinese people get along and they work well together. And it just shows how unique Indonesia is, and that it is a melting pot of cultures. And I'm really lucky to be here. As you can see, it really was not that big of a temple. It's very strong, but it still holds a very important, a big cultural and historical significance here in Manado. I'm just gonna go on Facebook and see if there are any comments. I hope that the signal was good. Okay, so I'm just getting a lot of people wishing us Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year. Hi from Canada. Hello. Are you good? Hello from Manado. Hi. We're in your city right now. All right, so that was the entire tour of the temple. We've made it back to the street. It's a very hot day today, but usually during the Chinese New Year, it starts to rain. But I hope that you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about the history of this temple that's been around for centuries, 400 years, a very long time. And it makes me really proud to be an Indonesian, a place where really every culture can come together. And you know, even during the Chinese New Year, the head of the temple there, he was telling me that, you know, people join in the celebration and they're not even Chinese, you know, they're the local people, they're Muslims and they're Christians, but they're all really coming together to celebrate this auspicious day, which is today and tomorrow, of course. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this live, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.